let me just say
Sure.
one framing thing before you answer that. Remember that in the typical day of a stage performer, your goal is to be peaking at 8 p.m. That's when you're at your absolute best in the day. And I think that's critical in recognizing that, because people often will say, so I wake up at 10, and
Yes.
people go, what are you doing? Oh my God, you're lazy or whatever. It's your goal is to be at your best at 8 p.m. So that's
Thank
a
you.
framework to begin with
Thank you.
of how a performer's day should be shaped.
Yes.
For a stage performer's day.
Because
should be
people
shaped.
often gasp or just hate us. I once went to a workshop on sleep, and it was a doctor there talking about how to improve your sleep. And I raised my hand to ask a question, and I started by saying something like, well, I generally sleep 9 or 10 hours a night. And the room turned on me like, with daggers. These women were like, I hate, And I said, well, my job is very physical, and it takes a lot of energy. And sleep is so crucial. I remember my college voice teacher who really taught me the fundamentals, God bless her. But she always said, a tired body means a tired voice. So a lot of sleep was really important for me. I would say 9 hours on average. And then, yes, I would wake up usually between 10 and 11. Coffee, we're always thinking about things like reflux and how that's going to affect your voice. I was really lucky. I could get away with a lot more when I was younger than I can now. But pretty leisurely morning. We had dogs most of the time that we were in New York, and so we would walk the dogs around our condo in New Jersey, and maybe go to yoga, do some yoga. At one point during my phantom life, I actually got certified to teach yoga on the side just because I wanted to learn more about it. I didn't have any intention of creating a second career doing that, but I was really interested in it because, like I said, it's a mind game. I mean, you really need to work with your mind and also ways of relaxing and being engaged in your body, because this is your instrument. This is all you got. Painters have the brush and the palette. We've got from here to here, and that's what we have to work with. So taking really good care of your body, I think, is hugely important too. And doing normal life stuff like the laundry and the banking and paying the bills and all that stuff, whatever needs to happen around the house, doing all of that until 5-ish, and then dinner, and either getting on the train to the city or driving in and arriving around 7. And then you start your show routine, warming up your voice. Often I would have coffee in the Phantom's dressing room. So yeah, and then after the show is the best part of the day for us because it's finally over. It's our time to relax, unwind, watch TV, whatever we've recorded, and have a glass of wine. And we finally get that around 11 p.m., have that sense of shoulders coming down. It's done. I got through it.
Yeah, and it'll translate into usually like the normal time that we'll go to bed will be like
1:30,
1 a.m., 2 a.m. So it's just a different. Everything slides on the scale of where your day happens. Because you're wound up. You've
Mm-hmm.
done, you've peaked at 10:30. And you've got the rush of, this amazing life where you have, an audience of people sending love to you at the end of the night. And it takes a while to sort of let that disperse, just as your workday will, somebody whose workday ends at 5, their workday is dispersed maybe by, 9 o'clock and they're ready to go to bed at 11. For us, it's just move the clock back several hours to 2 a.m.
Yeah, and it is kind of bizarre being on the opposite schedule from most of the world. We're working nights and weekends and holidays, and it's when most of the world is in their leisure time, of course. So that's a kind of a bizarre thing to get used to when you first get going in the business. Like, oh, I really am living this weird life that's so different from most of the world.
You don't have a real weekend. We tend, on the show that I'm on right now, on the Book of Mormon, we do what we call a 5-show weekend. So we do a Friday night at 8, then we do 2 shows on Saturday, 2 shows on Sunday. So my weekend is a Monday, begins Monday morning for us. And it's just a very different structure of the day. And you like a lot of the restaurants we always want to go to on our day off are closed on Mondays, or museums are often closed on Mondays. So there are certain things you don't quite get to do in the same time frame that other people do.